All right, welcome back for the episode of Carnivore Trades. Day is Wednesday, May 15th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts, analysis, and live day trading. Again, don't forget to take advantage of the flash sale. It's my pinned tweet on Twitter. And a couple more winners across both services today, so continuing to rock and roll there. Get in while you can. Anyways, let's get into the markets here today. So pretty much a gap and go. We did have a little micro pullback here in intraday, and I was a little surprised. I'm not surprised we were green. I'm not surprised the markets rallied again. I kind of figured we would, but I thought we would kind of go into digestion mode a little bit quicker. But it was a gap and go, and they got to that all-time high, new all-time closing high. Lots of gamma just getting run through all day long. We started out 52.80 pin, and then 52.90, 53. And then the last, few minutes, they really jammed in 53.05 and 10. We closed just below that. So a lot of 0DT stuff going on in the last 10 minutes. Very interesting. Like, usually when you get a trend day up like this, you'll get some type of a bid like this around 2 o'clock, 1:45 to about 2:30. You'll get some kind of like a final push like that, and then it'll just get walked back into the end of the day. They kind of bag some calls up at the highs once things get really one-sided. But we had another push. I mean, the liquidity here is just absolutely insane. And we've talked about that. We figured liquidity would be better going into OPEX. That has been the case. It's been way, way outside of what I would have expected here. I mean, look at this. Like, we can't even get a 7-point. It's like a 7-point dip here. It's not even a dip. That's not a dip. That's a downtick, right? And it immediately just snatched up. And then closing us right at the highs of the day. Volatility just getting absolutely roasted here. Put call ratio, finishing a consecutive day below 7. So at some point here, will get walked back a little bit. Again, I don't think that there's any sort of significant downside until after Friday. So by significant downside, I don't mean we're going to retrace and go back down, but a significant back end filling where we get more than a 7-point downtick intraday. And look at regular trading hours. I mean, the only downticks we really had, or the only pullbacks we've had, here's the ES, as we are getting walked back here in the after hours, is again, like I said, that last surge was all just 0DTE. But we had the little dip there yesterday for PPI, and then we had one, it was like Wednesday morning last week. That's it. And most of that wasn't in regular trading, right? Looking at regular trading. By the way, that's, according to the SPY, that's 10 in a row now, green. But, according to SPY, we had one dip there intraday, and then that was really it. You can call this one here. That was still after a gap up, though. So there hasn't even really been intraday dips to buy, honestly. Like I said, yesterday I really tried to get in at 52.15. It missed it by 1.5 points or so. So it's been, the liquidity has been absolutely insane. We're not overshooting levels to the downside. We're overshooting to the upside here. And, the markets are, and it's funny, these Fed heads keep talking about, well, we've done a lot to restrict financial conditions. Where? How? I mean, this is like absolutely insanity here. But markets above 5,300. And again, I don't really see any sort of real pullback. And it doesn't mean we can't be sideways tomorrow or something like that. Maybe we gap up and then we pull back a little bit. But I don't see any real downside until Friday or later. So that's the bottom line right now. And again, just absolute runaway freight train here of a market. Triple Qs here closing above 450. So again, new all-time closing high there, obviously. And that has new highs now. So we can just get rid of the old wedge pattern. Not that it really mattered that much anyway, but pull back here would take, you got 450, you could get back tested to, and then, 442 and change. That was the previous high. Weekly close, it's likely we're going to close obviously above that red bar unless we have a massive reversal tomorrow, obviously. So that will get negated. But again, everything really strong here today. Take a look at, SMCI. Talk about call buying. I mean, there was... Look at the 30-minute. There's not a single. They had one red candle there in here. But look at that. That is this massive short-dated calls being bought. So again, I think this kind of gets walked back after Friday, but just amazing price action here. Russell 2000 was on the weaker side. A lot of that having to do with GameStop. Came in 18%, was down more than that. It was down over 50%, I think, from the highs. By the way, take a look at that 618, right? Picture perfect, and a nice bounce there. AMC, I was looking for this to get to 450. It didn't quite get there. It got to a Pierce of 5, but I was looking for a little bit more, and it got a bounce, and not much. I mean, it was tradable, though. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but 470 to 570 is a big move for a $4 stock, but still down like over 50% off highs. Again, there just isn't the short interest or the open interest here in these names for that to happen. But again, the IWM coming in towards the end of the day, well, in the morning, it finished higher, obviously, but didn't take out the highs of the morning session, so it's a laggard, is what I'm saying. And then you have 210, and then the obviously the 212 pivot there for the Russell. So simple there. Diamond here, I'd imagine there's a ton of calls here at 40K, right? So is there any question as to right around where we're going to close on Friday? Probably not. So we'll keep it simple there for the diamond. The SMH beat that 230 and change target I talked about yesterday, so that is up. Next level's double top. NVIDIA earnings next week. Is that pricing itself in for perfection? Likely. Does it want to go to 1,000? I'd say it's probably likely to. I know a lot of people are talking about how this has got a bull pattern here, and it does, but just the monthly is still really stretched, and I don't know. I just don't. I'm not so convinced that it's going to continue that much higher here, but it's acting well, and the market's acting well here. IGV's right into that 84 handle again. This may get walked back tomorrow. Watch for that. You're kind of going into some. This is that bear flag breakdown from before. We can get rid of this channel now. We'll just keep this trend line just for that because it's on the lower side, and it is above the weekly red bar. But again, if it gets walked back tomorrow and Friday, it could close below it. It's got about $1, just about $1 to go, and we'll see if that trend line offers any resistance. If not, then next big level is around 85.50, 86, we'll say. But IGV getting a good bid here. Transports, again, still on the weaker side. I don't like the transports. I still just don't like them. There's just better things to be in. So again, 618 is holding, and all it could muster was a 12 basis point gain today. That's it. On a day where the spiders were ripping higher, up 1.25, and the Qs are up 1.5, and they just ripped higher all day long. So a little weakness there. Rates here obviously took a hit. So there we go. So 2-year down substantially, still above the green bar. We'll watch that on the weekly. If that fails, then this is going lower. Rates will go down, and I'd have to work on levels there right now. There's several of them in the short term. There's bigger picture levels as well. Again, rates aren't going to go that much lower. They're likely to hold up and chop around. I talked about that at the beginning of the year. They'll rally up into Q1. That's kind of what's happened. Rallied a little bit already in Q2. Now they're starting to back off, but they're not going to go much lower in the bigger picture. That's sort of the base case. But right now they are backing off. We talked about the long end being weaker. That is the case here. So the long end has a tighter bear flag. There's the 10s and 30s. And, again, we're into this trend line. We could pierce it, maybe even 442, but we'll see if that holds here and gives yields a bounce. I think they will get one. I don't think it's quite ready to go substantially lower here, especially even like the 2-year. But right now they backed off and bonds got a nice rally. So bonds holding up decently. XHB, what did I say yesterday? 110. There you go. So it closed right at the highs too. Look at that. 110.09 and then pulled right back on the button. Again, it's not huge resistance. It's just a pivot and so on. And then you have the all-time high. So XHB acting much better. VNQ had a really good day too. So gapping up. There's a lot of resistance up here though. Just be aware of that. In fact, we can even do this. Let's throw this together here. Right? And we might even be able to do that. But we'll just leave it there for now. So we'll leave that there. But kind of a little, I don't love the gap in the doji kind of look, especially since you're getting close to a gap fill here too. But, it had a good bid. And again, I'm not saying to fight it or anything. XLF here looks like just, did it make a new all-time high? I think it did intraday. No, double top exactly to the penny. So double top for XLF. I noticed a lot of banks were weaker today. I noticed Berkshire was strong. But BAC, we actually shorted this in the trading room. Got a scalp off on this morning. Watch a rising wedge there too. But like Wells Fargo kind of came off the highs. Citigroup came off the highs, although it came back by the end of the day. Same thing with like JPM. Kind of scooped up towards the end of the day, but it was weaker earlier. Maybe a little hanging man there, so just be careful. But again, banks are strong, and that's something I've talked about a lot here. KBE could be on breakout. Again, I don't love the hanging man, but that bullish inside bar is starting to play out now. So KBE strong. KRE was okay today, although it did come back in off the highs. So not great follow through right here for banks, but again, overall they're in pretty good shape. Broker dealers did follow through here. Very good pattern there on the daily. Again, it's very overbought in the monthly, but that can remain that way for a while. Crude had a really nice reversal today, so it was threatening to break down, bear flag breakdown here, and it came nicely off the lows, so maybe it can get back to 81 after all here in the short run. So again, slight lower low, a lot of shorts probably got sucked in. We got the 4 hour. There's your attempted breakdown bar, big reversal. Actually, we can use the hourly too. Breakdown bar, and we close way above that. So right now there will be a resistance around 79, 79.50, and then 80. If you get through that, it's up to 81 on crude futures. So crude hanging in there okay. Is that a divergence between bonds? Possibly. But it's got a lot of work to do. It's not really a strong chart at the moment. But short term, good bid. XLE also came back very impressively. Big sell in the morning, V shape, and then, it closed right at the highs of the day. So nothing terrible there. I'm still just kind of neutral on the energy stocks. OIH finished fractionally lower. We'll just leave it at that for now. But if they firm up, they can rally. CCJ down a penny. That's still doing some backing and filling. NJ and NM we're both higher by just a little bit here. Those are still getting ready on the weekly. Nat gas pushed up again today. So that's peaking above resistance. Again, I don't really love this idea of shorting this here just because of the seasonality. Additionally, when nat gas is at multi-decade lows, you know why it's there. And if any sort of good news takes place, this can, there's just a lot of shorts in it. So I'll just say that. Yeah, it's above that little resistance level. I'm just kind of neutral on it. If it gave me a dip, I might look to picking up long. But again, I'm going to give that the upside bias until June time. Dollar index inching down. 104s are going to be your support right now, but pretty good sell. And actually, it got a good bounce this morning, and then just right back down to the end of till the end of the day. So right into the 200 there. 104 is your next support. If past that, 103.50. Gold held up well. I know everybody's going to look for a breakout tomorrow. I don't think it's going to. I think it's got at least a day or two of backing and filling. Don't ask me why I'm saying that, but GDX acting well though. So again, miners still leading the metal. Silver was the big winner. I think it touched 30. Did it? It's $29.99. There we go. Right there, $29.99, very close here. We'll see. Maybe it gets walked back into tomorrow. Also, just keep in mind, I know it's at $30 and it's looking very strong, but it is still OPEX week, so just don't rule out a rug pull into Thursday, Friday. But it sits strong, and it's not like that would affect the bigger picture. But good action there for silver. SIL didn't make a new high. SILJ did. Again, the market's still good. Platinum continuing to power up here. It's getting a little overbought, but again, it's playing catch up. I've been talking to you guys about this for I don't know how long, about how I like it down here, and it's bidding up here. Still got a ways to go to get up to this big resistance level, but it's curling up here. Look at the monthly. That's getting ready here. In fact, it is starting to push. And then palladium here, back above 1,000, so it's back above those moving averages now, just below the 50. Again, this is my catch-up play here too. So everybody wants to chase gold and silver up here. Why not get something that's cheap? That's my thought process. Not saying you shouldn't buy gold, silver, but at least from a value standpoint. Copper. Okay, this is now, I think, the climax candle. We did make new all-time highs. I talked about it last Friday. I said that might have been the climax, and it wasn't, right? But big sell, big peg pump, and the big sell. We also had some yesterday too. So when you start to see that as multiple big distribution, patterns, I guess, or periods with volume, lots of volume, one after the other like that, it's getting ready, right? This is a pretty good outside move. You have a topping tail there. And weekly, it will be important to tell us a lot more. If this continues down tomorrow and into Friday, it could put in a significantly sizable tail candle in there. I think $5 is resistance here in the short term, and it may test it tomorrow, but I don't really. This definitely looks like it's about done for now. I mean, like, right, this move was not sneaking up on anybody, right? Everybody's been talking about copper this, copper that. AI facilities need copper. Yeah, we know. Okay, that's why it's gone from 360 to 510 in 2 months or 3 months. So if you waited now until CPI to buy copper, you are really late. That's my thought process here. But big run there for copper. Bitcoin also shaping up. So this ends up being a bull flag, and it is playing out. Look where it went. Just kissing resistance there. So again, that's why I just stay neutral on it until, I mean, I talked about this multiple times way back here when everybody was saying short Bitcoin, short Bitcoin, short Bitcoin. I said, just don't do that because this could easily just go sideways. The 20 MA could catch up to price, and then what could happen? Right, that can happen. Doesn't mean it's going to go. Doesn't mean it can't get rejected here and put in a lower high. But does that all of a sudden one day? What a difference a day makes! All of a sudden looks pretty good, right? You could even make a case you got an inverse head and shoulders right here in the smaller time frame there. So Bitcoin's still acting well and not outperforming the stock market, whereas it was before. So a little bit of a difference there, but it's still strong. Anyway, all right, let's just say the futures. Yeah, just a little bit of a minor downtick here. So again, a lot of 0 to T going on at the end of the day there. But again, market really strong here. Bottom line, big takeaway. Yeah, we could do some back end filling tomorrow. I don't know. I think if we gap up, we're probably just going to slowly kind of grind sideways. Friday is anybody's guess here, but we'll get to cool off mode pretty soon, I would think. Look at the SPY here. 10 days in a row, 300 points. We'll probably do some back end filling, but really I wouldn't expect any sort of major downside until Friday or later. And that's what I'm just going to leave it at for now. So anyways, guys, going to wrap it up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com. I'll see you guys all tomorrow.